Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get instant updates for latest videos. Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. RRB NTPC Aptitude test is going to take place soon. As you all must be well aware, the dates are already out and the actual exam of stage 3 is going to take place on 30th June. This third stage of examination is specifically for the posts of assistant station managers and traffic assistants. This examination will be conducted as a psychometric test. As you must know, psychometric tests evaluate the overall candidate performance for the job being applied to. Here in this video, we will go through some questions and understand how to answer the psychometric test effectively. If you have been keeping an eye, you will know that we have already published a sample aptitude test paper on Testbook blog. The questions we are going to do here are from the same paper, so it would be better if you keep your sample paper beside you. So let's begin. The first section in psychometric test is the intelligence test. It evaluates how well you can grasp information provided to you and interpret so that you can reach a correct answer. Basically, the logic behind intelligence test is that of finding an odd one out. In each of the question, you will be given 5 figures and out of which 4 are similar in a certain way. Your job in this question is to find out the one which is different from the other 4. The figure that will be different from the other 4 will be your answer. As you can see on your screens, we have circled the second figure. This is because the internal diagram in the second figure is not circular as it is in the other 4 slides. This is why the second figure is different from the other 4 figures, which is going to be our answer. The second section in the psychometric test is selective attention test. Selective attention tests are basically measuring how easily you can differentiate between data which is unimportant and important. In this section, your goal is to add all the odd numbers you can see in the figure and add them together to form a sum, which is going to be your answer. However, you must remember that in the list there are both even and odd numbers. Your job is only to calculate the sum of the odd numbers. In this question, we have circled the odd numbers for you. The total of these numbers is 43, which is option D. That is why our answer in this section is option D, 43. The third section in psychometric test is the spatial scanning test. Spatial scanning tests generally measure how quickly you can find out solutions to problem after processing given information. For this, you need to use the keys given on your screens. There are many symbols in the map and they represent different things. For example, you can see alphabets, circles, squares with numbers and lines. Alphabets represent stations which you have to pass through. Circles represent barriers that you must avoid. Squares with numbers represent houses that that would be eventually your answers, and lines represent streets that you travel from. In the question, you will be given an initial alphabet and a destination alphabet. Your job is to find the shortest possible route between these two stations. So let's take some examples. As we talked about, let's take the example of question P to J. P is our initial station and J is our destination station. In the first left hand side figure that you can see, we have marked the streets with red lines. This is because red lines indicate that these are invalid routes to take. In first instance, you can see that P is going from house number 3 and house number 2 and eventually ending up in front of a circle, which is a barrier, which is why it is an invalid route. Similarly, when it tries to go through L to J, it again confronts a circle, which is a barrier, which again means it is an invalid route. In the right hand side figure, you can see there is a blue line on the route from P to J. It travels through house number 3, house number 2 and house number 5. Even though this route from P to J is not invalid, it is not the correct answer. Why is this the case? This is because the job in your section is to find the shortest route possible, not any route possible. Question will involve having two points, two stations, which will have multiple routes. Your job is only to find the shortest route possible. That is why we reject the answer in the previous map. In this map on in front of your screens, you can see routes indicated by a green line. This line passing through the house 3 is the shortest possible route between P and J. With route P and J passes through house number 3, which is eventually going to be your answer. The fourth section in psychometric test is going to be information ordering test. In information ordering test, questions are given which are able to be solved with the two figures displayed on your screens. These two figures give you most of the information that you need to take into account before solving any sum. All questions have a test figure. Every question has a series of process boxes from A, B, C and D. Each part in the process box is divided into 3 levels: level 1, level 2 and level 3. Each part in the process box, that is the level, will either have X or it will not. Operations are to be performed only in those levels that have X in them. The initial value to start the operations is the value corresponding to the test figure from table number 2. The final value will be arrived at after completing operations in all the process boxes containing X. The answer will be the figure corresponding to the final value. You can see the guidelines in front of you on the screens. Take this question for example. The test figure in the question is a triangle. This triangle in table number 2 is represented by the corresponding value 6, which is going to be our initial value. After you take the initial value, you have to start the operations using the values given of levels in the process box table number 1. So let's see how these operations are done. Here we have solved the operations for you, so it will be easier to follow. The starting value of the test figure is 6. After you put it through the operations on levels where there is an X, the eventual answer that you end up with is 4. Remember that you only go through the operations where the level has an X. The final value 4 represents in the table number 2 the dark square. This dark square is among the options, option number D. That is why option number D will be your answer. Personality test is the 5th test in the psychometric exam. The 5th test, personality test, is to analyze the attitudes of the person, of the candidate, how well you fit with the work environment and how you can effectively manage the tasks given to you. There are a couple of things you need to remember while solving the questions in personality test. Remember that there are no true answers, but there are obviously answers which are more likely to get you selected. However, it doesn't mean you should always try to find answers which will get you selected, because there are answers that can first come to your mind and that honestly applies to you, which is also important because that would be helpful for the employer to judge you effectively. Try not to choose the answer option in the middle unless the other options are really impossible for you to choose, because it shows that you are indecisive about your beliefs and answers. Take the questions in front of you for example. The first question: when I am about to finish the goal I have been assigned, I feel option number A, nervous; option number B, in between; option number C, excited, for example. Here, even though there is no true answer, the best answer that you can give is option number C, excited. This is because it shows that the candidate is confident about his project, his goals, and does not waver under pressure. In question number 2, when a disagreement arises between co-workers regarding some strategic alternatives, I tend to choose the alternative that option number A, takes into consideration what most co-workers feel; option number B, in between; C, I personally feel is the most practical even if others disagree. Here as well, there is no correct answer. People can be both individualistic and team oriented. However, if you choose the option number A, it shows that you are considerate about what other people feel, that you engage in effective dialogue that would be beneficial not just for you as an employee, but also for the company as a whole. This is why option number A would be the most practical option to choose. In question number 3, if my experienced senior makes a flawed decision, I will option number A, stand up to him or her regarding it. Option number B, remain indifferent. Option number C, accept that the senior is more experienced and his or her word is important. Even here, there is no true answer. However, standing up to your senior shows that you do not fear difficult situations and you want to do the right thing no matter what. Even if your senior is experienced, it does not mean that the senior is right in every case. To stand up to your senior shows that you are actually committed to the organization rather than just pandering to the needs of the senior. This was the end of our solving psychometric test. If you want to know more about the psychometric test, you can go through the FAQ article published on Testbook blog. You can also go through our discuss forum and comment what you feel about this and tell us more topics we should cover. Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get instant updates for latest videos. Thank you.